There's a hit.
I was using.
That felt like a good hit. Got him.
There you go.
Feels like the right flavor. It's holding tight to the bottom.
They're pretty decent on that?
Yeah, it's decent. It's real decent. I'm going to have to come your way.
Yeah.
Just with the direction the boat's going. That's a nice fish. Not huge. Northern?
Yeah. It's a decent size one then.
Not huge. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Hey, there's a perfect release too.
Yeah.
Get him back in the water. Nice little northern. Oh, I think he's under that slot too, actually. How we doing, folks? Dan and Alex here again.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a mess here. What we're doing today is we are pulling spinners through the weeds for whatever will take a crawler harness.
Yeah.
What we found out is if you're up in the Northwoods and you're looking for a summer fish fry, this is a great way of filling a bucket with all kinds of fish. You just saw that northern there. Doing pre-fishing, there was walleye, there was jumbo perch. I've caught just about every fish in this lake pulling spinners like this. So stay tuned, it's going to be a great show. We'll show you what we're doing here as soon as we get another fish. It's not undone.
Yeah.
There's a fish. Got him.
Got him?
Yeah. I think I know what it is. I think it's got teeth.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah. Gonna need that now.
Yeah, I got you.
Regardless of what it is. Gonna jump here real soon, I'm thinking. Slow and steady wins this race.
Yep.
It's holding bottom. Coming up.
Nice walleye.
Is it?
Nice walleye.
Feels like a nice walleye. It's just freaking holding bottom.
Oh, almost could have done it.
There we are.
There we go, Dan.
That's a nice fish.
Yeah, a quick release too.
Yeah, I'm glad it got in the net first. All right. Grab you here. Look at that fish, ladies and gentlemen. Just a beautiful northern Minnesota walleye. Doesn't get any prettier than that. It really doesn't.
That is awesome.
Get him back in the water here. Alex, you want to tell him what we're doing for our rigs?
So I'll reel in real quick here. So like we said today, we're doing crawler harnesses or spinner rigs, is a common term. And we're doing something a little different. And most people use like Lindy sinkers or bottom rigs, or what's the word I'm thinking of?
Bottom bouncer.
Bottom bouncers,
or
yeah.
like a nose snag sinker or something real bottom oriented.
But what we're doing today is we're using actually a cone sinker, which allows us to go through the weeds. Today we're fishing anywhere from 5 to 8 foot, I'd say.
Yep.
And we're targeting fish in the weeds. Like, that's what we are looking for, is those weed pockets. We're bouncing from weed pocket to weed pocket, ripping these crawler harnesses through the weeds. And so what happens is a lot of times we're snagging on the moss and the leaves and everything. But by using a cone sinker, it actually allows those weeds and the moss to just kind of slip on past it and not get snagged up. And then we're using just your common spinner rig, with a spinner blade and some different colored beads. I know I'm going the kind of more brighter, not natural looking. And so I'm using the pink and purple with some gold and some red beads. And then just a simple crawler with a couple hooks, a common Snell crawler.
And my rig's pretty well identical to his. The only difference is my pattern. This is my go-to out here on a lot of these northern lakes. It's a beaded, like a perch colors, just orange and green alternating, and then a hammered gold. Put some flash in there. The reason I like that is you got the flash that kind of mimics a shiner. You got perch colors in there, which is a huge forage out here for everything. And yeah, then same snell that he's running. And these fish, they're up on top of the flats. You see behind us here, it's obviously a very windy day. Walleye like that one I just caught, they like to eat shallow when they can. That's a misconception. People think walleye, they think 20 feet deep, and that's not always the case. We've caught walleye in 2.5 feet of water sometimes.
It's the middle of June.
Yep, middle of June, and just, it's amazing. Just a little bit of wave will scatter that light enough. Then you add in the weeds that we're in, and that casts shadow and a nice canopy for them to hang under. And that leads right back into our cone sinker. If you look at the size of what we're using, it's just a 1/4 ounce cone sinker. I mean, we're fishing light, but what that does is when you get that blade behind it pulling, it gets that whole bait up off the bottom and kind of cutting through the middle of the water column. So we're in, we were in 7-8 foot of water when we caught that fish, but my lure was riding probably anywhere from 6 to 4 feet up in the water column over the top of those fish. And what they're doing is they're busting out of those weeds and just hammering as it comes over the top of them.
Yeah.
And it's an effective way for catching all kinds of fish. And it's a windy day, we can kind of tuck away in the shallower coves and not have to try and stay on a point or anything like that. And it's been a lot of fun, and
a good way to put a lot of fish in the bucket.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. Is you can catch a lot of fish doing this, and all you need is a couple dozen crawlers and some simple snells you can buy off the shore at the bait, or off the shelf at the bait shop. And yeah, it's an effective method, and we're gonna have a lot of fun today.
Yeah, get some more.
That's right.
This is a good one, dude.
Got one?
Yep. Feels like the perchy urchy.
Not bad perch though. No.
Take a few of those. They'd probably out real good, won't they?
Well, that's just it. It's like catch a lot of fish using this, and
of course I dropped it. Sorry, buddy.
2-minute penalty. The majority of the fish you catch doing this, you're not getting to those smaller fish. I mean, basically everything you catch, aside from the pike slot, is going to be an edible fish for table fare.
Absolutely.
There you go.
That's not that word.
Get out of your way here. I'll even grab your net. How's that?
Might be the right flavor.
I think it is. Nope. Little jack.
There we go.
In and out of the net.
Hey, you did?
Yep. Another nice one.
Yeah. Once again, not perfect either.
It's probably going to be right under that slot too.
Probably would be.
It's like if somebody was looking to turn some fish for dinner, it's another one you can clean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One. Yeah.
Nice little fish. So, one thing we're doing as far as boat control is initially, winds were strong enough, we had a tough time fishing with a tailwind. The wind was pushing us along at like 2.5 miles an hour, which is a little too fast for pulling spinners like we're doing.
Yeah.
I prefer to run about half that, 1 mile an hour, 1.2, 1.3, somewhere around there. Seems to be a good speed for this setup, this size blade, this weight. But now winds have calmed a little bit, and we're kind of able to go both directions, which is nice. But you run into some boat control issues, but with the bow mount, we just kind of stay the course as best we can.
Well, and the advantage to how we're doing it is we know where we're going, and we, like I said earlier, we're hitting specific weed pockets. We know the stretch that has the weeds, and we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth over the same stretch that we know holds the weeds, and because there's weeds, there's fish there. And if it was drifting, especially with this wind, we'd probably be halfway across the lake.
Yeah,
if we were trying to drift.
You could set up big long drifts over structure, and we do that a lot, especially on unknown lakes when we're trying to find fish. We'll pick the wind direction, say, hey, this stretch would line up a whole bunch of structure for us. Let's just drift over it, shallow, deep, and find what we can. But in a situation like this, where the guesswork's done for us, we know the lake. Like I said, I did some pre-fishing last week. I was out here, and it's an area that I know well, and I know where those weeds and where those fish are going to be. And in a case like that, we have no problem, like you said, just going back and forth over the area that's holding the fish. And you know, what's amazing is no matter how many times we cross over that, we're finding fish that maybe weren't active a half hour ago or an hour ago. And it's like with every pass, we're picking up something. So it's pretty simple fishing. If you're new to a lake like this, you know, the best tip I can give you is find where those weeds are, whether it's by sonar or even just driving up and seeing where that tall cabbage, those pond weeds are coming clear up towards the surface. Make note of where those areas are, and if you get 2 or 3 of those in a row like we have here on the shoreline, connect the dots and make that your course. And if you can't drift them in a row, you know, use the big motor, drive down to the end and slowly go back through them pulling those spinners. And I guarantee if you put a day in doing that with a couple of people and some crawlers, you will find enough fish to clean and have a good fish fry. And that being said, day's not over yet.
No,
let's get back
out there. I need another crawler.
There's a fish. Got it. Yeah.
Net, sir.
Be a little more cautious with this one, whatever it is. Not wanting to come in, is it? Coming around behind you.
Looks like a decent one.
There, we'll take that. A nice little eater to end the day, huh?
Yes. Oh, easy release too.
Perfect for the frying pan, as I always say.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful little fish. Well, that's going to do it for today, guys. You know, I hope we helped you out. I hope we gave you some good direction for how to just go out and catch a whole bunch of fish. What's great about this technique is you don't need anything fancy to do it.
No.
You know, you spend $5-10 on spinners at the bait shop. Some sinkers, some crawlers. You can do it from a canoe. I've seen people out here doing it from pontoons. You know, we're in a pretty hardcore fishing boat here, but it doesn't take that. It takes a vessel and finding where the weeds are.
Yeah, I was just about to say, honestly, you wouldn't even need a depth finder.
No,
you could just visually we can see the weeds and just go right through them.
On the back end of things, we were up in like 5 feet of water. We could see the rocks, we could see the weeds. But, boy, we're in a little shallow, you know. We went another 40 feet and we were turning fish. So it's really a productive way to catch fish, and it's fun. You know, there's fast action because there's very little downtime where we're just covering water and not getting bit. And I think it's great for kids. You know, maybe some inexperienced fishermen you want to take out and just say, hey, you know, I know how to catch a bunch of fish. Bring them out and do this, and it not only will it make you look like a champ, but more importantly, you'll have something for dinner. And I really enjoy doing that in midsummer. It's just a great way. One other tip I'm going to add is if you're into perch hot and heavy and fish are so aggressive you're having trouble keeping those crawlers on, don't be afraid to throw an artificial lure on there, a plastic worm. You know, I've had days where they worked better than the real thing. Both because I didn't have to spend all that time rebaiting, but they just held up longer, and the fish, they did not care whatever the reason. Those plastics is what they wanted. So you know, that's something else to keep in mind if you run out of crawlers or if they're just so aggressive you can't keep the crawlers on. You know, change it up. Don't be afraid to try anything else on there. I mean, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. Anything else you want to add?
I think that about covers it. You know, just spinners in summer, in the weeds. I guarantee you, all year long, there will be walleyes, perch, northern in those weeds. I guarantee it. It's no matter what time of year.
Such a drive for them. They love it. All right, well, if that's going to wrap her up, let's wrap it up. Until next time, I'm Dan.
And I'm Alex.
We'll see you on the water.
Absolutely.